In this presentation for your Works Cited page, I want to go over what we look for. The first thing is we're going to build a Works Cited page in an MLA format. And I found the best way to do that is if you click the link in here and use Purdue's website, you can see exactly what a completed Works Cited page in proper MLA format looks like while I explain what everything is and why we look for it. The first thing you have to do in order to build a works cited page is obviously gather your sources. Now, I don't want you just to run to the internet and type in what you're looking for in the Google bar, hit the enter button, and take the first things that pop up on your search engine. I want you to narrow things down by using some commas and putting multiple things in the search engine to really get a grasp and gather the best possible material that you can. By doing so, you actually narrow down and whittle away at the unnecessary search results. By putting multiple things in the search bar, you're fine tuning and again narrowing down to more specific topics that will help you build a better speech, a better presentation, and obviously a better works cited page. Once you've done the narrowing down and you've gathered your sources, you then want to fact check. I know we've probably all heard this on the news a million times, but you don't want to just take the sources and run with what they said because they said it. You want to take the information that you've gathered and then do a search on that information. So you're almost giving your credibility or your sources credibility by doing so. And what you end up doing is delivering better and stronger information. And when you're all done with that, one more time, we want to narrow down what it is that we've collected before we present it and put it all together. All right, so now we've gathered all of our information, we've narrowed it down, we're ready to begin. Our works cited page has multiple requirements, and I strongly suggest following along with this PowerPoint video in order to put it together properly. The first requirement, very simple. Simply put the words works cited on the center of your document, right at the top. Hit that center bar on your document, type these words in, and you are underway. Like I said, this is quite simple. This is what it should look like when you put the words works cited in the middle of your document. The next requirement is that you want to make sure that your sources are coming from reputable current sources. In the first portion where you were gathering your information, you went through and I told you to fact check your sources. Here, you want to make sure that your sources are no more than 2 to 5 years old. The reason for this is that your information is more apt to be believable and better with more current sources. Another requirement for your works cited page is that at least one of your sources must come from the school's library. I can't stress this enough. The school puts time and effort into the sources and material they put into their library and their databases. This is where you should start your research. Forget running to Google or forget running to a search engine. Take a look at the school library's databases. You could probably get most of, if not all of your material from the school library. The next requirement for building your works cited page is something that we all learned back, I think, in first or second grade, and that would be putting things in alphabetical order. For an MLA works cited page, we put our sources in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Your next requirement for your works cited page is that every line, excluding the first line, is to be indented and double spaced. When you list your source, you start at the margin. If it is only one line long, well, then you double space and move on to the next one. If your source has 2 or 3 lines in the citation, then you must indent that second and third and so on lines. There is no extra spacing required between each source or citation. Simply indent and hit return and start your next one. In the end, this is what your works cited page should look like. Here we have two sources, and if you notice, the two separate sources are first alphabetized by author's last name, they are double-spaced, and each additional line beyond the first one is indented. If you follow this example right here, along with the link that I sent you, you should have no problem completing your proper works cited page. Make sure that you have enough sources, and I will see it when you turn it in.